Welcome back to the CryptoWorld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the price of ETH is getting a rejection from this important line of resistance on the chart. And while this is happening, we have also already played out this break to the downside from this symmetrical triangle pattern in the short term, which I'll talk more about later in the video, so make sure you watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update on the daily Bitcoin chart, and obviously, as I've been saying for a while now on this channel, the larger trend at play is still technically a bearish trend on this daily time frame when you zoom out. But staying on the daily time frame and just zooming in a little bit, obviously we still have an active bullish divergence in play, technically speaking. And of course, ever since this bullish divergence formed right back here, the price of Bitcoin has gone to the upside even after the recent drop in the short term. But as I always say, a bullish divergence on the daily time frame normally lasts around 1 to 2 weeks before it begins to fade away, and so far it's been roughly around 1 week since this bullish divergence, which means really at any point over the next 1 week we could potentially see some more bearish momentum possibly resume. But at least for now, the RSI is remaining above this upwards trending line of support, so basically this bullish divergence is still currently in play. And so once again, what this means for the price of Bitcoin is that we're due to see reduced bearish momentum here on the daily time frame. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that we can't see some short-term bearish price action, because as I've been saying, we're likely due to see some choppy sideways price action here on the daily time frame, which is of course made up of bullish price action and bearish price action in the imminent short term. But in terms of the larger moves here on the daily time frame, we're basically unlikely to see these type of moves while this bullish divergence is playing out. And so the most likely scenario moving forward is still going to be some more choppy sideways price action here on the daily time frame, as I've been saying ever since all the way back around here. But now if you zoom out to the weekly Bitcoin charts, as I've also been talking about in recent videos here on the channel, we do have a massive bullish divergence on the weekly time frame between the June low and the most recent low in the price of Bitcoin, because obviously we have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI on the weekly time frame. And what we have seen over the last 1 day is a weekly candle close in the green, which is technically one bullish confirmation for this bullish divergence. So one confirmation signal basically confirming this bullish divergence. Although since then, since that one weekly candle close, considering it wasn't really a large green candle, after seeing the latest pullback in the price of Bitcoin in the current weekly candle, we've seen the weekly Bitcoin RSI basically come back down to the same level as where it was at the most recent higher low. And so basically, if the weekly Bitcoin RSI drops below this low, in fact, I'll zoom in even closer so you can see what I mean. If the weekly RSI drops below this low right here, then essentially we would need to reconfirm this massive bullish divergence with another green weekly candle. And so the situation right now around this weekly Bitcoin bullish divergence, pretty much if the RSI remains above the June low, then we are still forming this massive bullish divergence at the very least. And technically speaking, as of right now, we have already seen one confirmation for this bullish divergence, but the more confirmation, the better, because basically if we see more confirmation, then we can become more confident in this pattern playing out. And so for now, even though we technically have one confirmation, we don't have a lot of confirmation because we only saw a very small green weekly candle, which means the weekly Bitcoin RSI hasn't really put in a definitive low and a significant bounce, and instead it's basically hovering around this same level, and what we need to see is an actual higher low put in place with a bounce. And so this next weekly candle close will likely be an important one as well for this pattern right here, and of course the next weekly candle close is happening in around 6 days from now. But anyway, zooming into the short term, this right here is the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and obviously the price of Bitcoin is still chopping around sideways within this sideways price range in between around 15.7k up to around 17k. And so once again, as I've said in recent videos here on the channel, we are likely going to continue chopping around sideways for a little longer, at least just in the short term, which means at least over the next 1 to 2 days, I do expect the price of Bitcoin to remain in this choppy sideways price range right here. And of course, if anything changes, I'll be sure to let you know about it in these update videos. But now, if you zoom into an even smaller time frame, for example, the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously, as we can see here, we had a symmetrical triangle pattern forming, as I also mentioned in my last video, with the support level at around 16.4k. And as I mentioned in my last video, the moment the price of Bitcoin breaks below this key level of support at around 16.4k, that would set up a technical price target at around 16,000, which with this most recent wick to the downside, the price of Bitcoin has pretty much perfectly hit. And so obviously, congrats to those of you who traded this move to the downside. And personally, how I usually trade these moves is I simply place a conditional order on the other side of a significant breaking level. For example, this level of support. I would personally place a conditional order just below that level of support, which would essentially automatically open a short position. And of course, while a short position is active, it is making profit as the price goes to the downside. And then usually what I tend to do is place take profits just above a technical price target. And what I also personally do on a trade like this, for example, is move my stop loss into profits once the trade moves into profits. But of course, that is not personal financial advice for you, because I don't know your personal financial situation. That is simply just letting you know what I usually do for trade like this. But anyway, since this move has already played out and we've now hit the technical price target, obviously this pattern is no longer in play. It is already completed. And also, if you're looking at the 2-hour Bitcoin RSI, this recently entered into oversold territories with this move to the downside, which means we need some time in the short term to essentially stabilize to help reset the RSI. So once again, we're likely going to experience a little bit more choppy sideways price action just in the shorter term. But now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And over the last 1 day, we've obviously seen a clear rejection from this previous golden pocket level of support, which is currently acting as new resistance. And in case you're new to this channel, this golden pocket is coming into play in between around 1180 up to around 1210. And of course, over the last few days, even though we saw a few candle wicks above this range of resistance, we did not see any confirmed break above 1210 on the daily time frame, because we didn't see any daily candle close above 1210. So because of that, we are now getting a rejection from this resistance. And of course, if you're looking at the overall larger trend here on the daily time frame, technically this is still a bearish trend. Nothing has changed here in the larger trend as of right now. But in the somewhat shorter term relative to the daily time frame, we're technically still in this pause within the larger bearish trend, because for example, the RSI on the daily time frame is technically still trending to the upside, while the MACD has recently crossed bullish and hasn't crossed bearish again. And the last time we saw signals like this on the daily Ethereum chart was right back here around the end of September, entering into early October, when we were in a pause within the larger bearish trend. And now if you zoom into the shorter term, this right here is the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart. Obviously, over the last 1 day, because of that rejection, we've seen a little bit of short-term bearish price action, which also came just after this bearish cross in the 4-hour Ethereum MACD. And since then, the price of ETH has come back down to retest this line of previous resistance, which is now acting as new support again. And this is sitting at around 1140 to 1150 approximately. But if the price of ETH confirms a break below this level right here, then the next range of support is coming into play at around 1070 up to around 1090. And as for short-term resistance levels, once again, we still have resistance at around 1210 based on the top of this golden pocket. But if you're looking in the shorter term, these candle closes actually go up towards around 1220. And in terms of the trend right now, just in the short term, overall, I'm actually remaining more neutral above anything else. I'm still expecting mostly choppy sideways price action once again, which can contain some smaller bearish moves and bullish moves in between this choppy sideways price action. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, even when the price is simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to check out these videos popping up right here on your screen. In fact, the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how to actually make money in crypto if the price is chopping around sideways, and the video in the top left of your screen shows you how to make money in crypto if the price is either trending bullish or bearish. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.